so let's now move into our next section, and this is titled Your Inner Child. The word you need there for your title is inner, your inner child. And so like we have here, the child heals and grows to the exact degree in which it feels safe enough to do so. You might want to underline that. So, everything has to do with a genuine safety. You will only allow yourself to deal with, resolve, or heal any part of you until you feel safe enough to do so. You will not do it any earlier. You've got to feel safe enough in order to be able to do so. Now, there's still a risk involved, but you've got enough safety now going for yourself. And yes, in that moment of going for it, it's probably going to be scary. It's probably going to get you to shake a little bit, all those types of things. But you're now going for it because you have a certain level of safety. You maybe don't have complete safety yet, but you have a certain level of safety. It's that certain level of safety that then allows you to go to whatever the next level is in light of your healing or growing your inner child. No one can totally transform into adulthood until the maturing and or the raising of the child has been completely achieved, period. Whenever you're around someone who you just immediately feel like, wow, this is a real adult. This is not a kid in a grown man's body or in a grown woman's body. This is a full-on adult. Because what you're feeling a level of maturity. Somehow, some way, however this person got there, they've matured into adulthood. The contrast would be, think of a person you've been around who's 45 years of age, and at some point, you no longer see them as mature. You no longer experience them as mature. They might be downright immature. In fact, you might even say, God, stop being so childish. Well, why would you say that about that person? Exactly, because that's exactly how they're showing up. They're showing up like a child, even though they're in a 40-year-old man or woman's body. Everybody relate to that? And so what happens here is the first part of our destiny, everybody's out there so desperately looking for their purpose, and they miss it over and over again. The first part of your destiny has to do with you maturing yourself. And more specifically, it's maturing yourself into adulthood. Just because you're 35 does not mean to say you're a mature adult. Now, I know in our culture, we're told that by the time you turn 18 or 19, or in some cultures 21, that you're to be an adult, right? When was the last time you saw a 25-year-old that was not mature? When was the last time you saw a 35-year-old that clearly was not mature? When was the last time you saw a 53-year-old that was not even an adult, or at least didn't act like an adult? This has been a real big-time issue on planet Earth. We've got what appears to be a lot of adults, but how many of them are fully mature adults? What's it like for you when you're in the presence of someone who's a mature adult? What does that do for you? To be yourself. What else? Safety. All of a sudden you start feeling safer. What else? Confident. All of a sudden you feel a level of confidence, not just from him, but you start to feel more confident. Or from her. What else? You're guided. Some of you were talking about, I think it was Marilyn, the lack of guidance. She had 3 parents, but there was didn't you say a lack of guidance? Right? The only way you get guidance, you're around somebody who's got a certain level of maturity to be able to even give you guidance. Does this make sense? And well-grounded guidance. And the more mature the person is that you're receiving guidance from, the more grounded that guidance is going to be. Isn't that interesting? There's a direct relationship there. So this is the first part of our destiny, is to ultimately mature into adulthood. And with some of us, we just haven't accomplished that yet, even though we're 43 years of age. And if we're acting like we have, but we really haven't, you're just going to create more doo-doo for yourself. That's all that's going to happen. Versus if you recognize that you haven't fully matured yet. You know you've got this inner child. As long as you've got this inner child inside of you that has not been fully healed, you're not fully mature. You can't. It's an impossibility. It can't happen. Does this make sense? There's a direct connection. So as my inner child moves into complete healing, the exchange is I just naturally become more mature as an adult in physical form. What would our planet be like if everybody on Earth, if this was the number one requirement to even get here? Think about this for a moment. If the number one requirement for us to be a part of this race is you got to go to school and you got to be raised properly. And you only get released into this race when you're fully mature. Think about this for a moment. What kind of planet would we have right now? What kind of a humanity would we have right now? You see what I'm saying? It's just everybody be working together more cooperatively. Things would be more dynamic, vibrant, radiant. People would be pursuing their goals, their dreams and aspirations, getting all kinds of support from others around them. Because when you're mature, when you're fully mature, not only are you going to do well in your life, but what do you want for others? Go ahead, say it out loud, please. What? Go ahead. Come on, get into this. What do you want for others? You want others around you to also do equally well. Am I right? Come on. Yes. Live streamers. Am I right? You know I am. You know it. It's a natural progression. You know what happens, though, on planet Earth? We have a lot of people who are still immature only because they have not yet healed their inner child. And when you're immature, meaning you haven't healed your inner child, you want what? You want it for who? For yourself. You're not really thinking about your next door neighbor. Or if you are, it's like, who does he think he is? It's when you're around somebody who's mature. What they want for themselves, they want for everybody else. And wherever they can support it, guess what they're going to do? They're going to support it. There's no issue. Because they don't have an inner child that's still dysfunctional or wounded that can put the foot on the brake pedal anytime it chooses to. Again, another reason why this is called the game changer. This changes the game of life, and more specifically of your life first and foremost, and that's what you got to be considering here, is changing your life, changing the game in your life first and foremost, because as you change the game in your life and you come to this place of really healing your inner child, you become just an incredible contributor to humanity just by your example. Because you just naturally want for others what you have for yourself. I walk into the store and I see all these people struggling, barely get in the store. And I just like, wow, I would love for them to have what I have. I would love it. It's one of the many reasons why I do what I do. Now, I'm not going to go in there and intervene with them. I'm not going to go and violate their free will. If they don't want it yet, they don't want it yet. I get that too. So those that are receptive are the ones that I'm going to work with to help them get it. So they can have this brighter, vibrant, more radiant life as well. But in order to do that, you've got to get a handle on your inner child. And then more specifically, you've got to get on board to healing this inner child. To what? Healing. To what? Healing. Healing my inner child. Whose inner child? Mine. Because no one here has a responsibility to have to heal the inner child of everybody on planet Earth. Even though you might be involved in a movement to help people heal their inner child, but let's call a spade a spade. When it comes to healing your inner child, whose responsibility is it? Mine. Yours. Exactly. Thank you very much. It's yours. It's yours. No one else's when it comes to your inner child. It's yours. All right, so let's take a look here and start to break this down some. So there are three areas that we're going to start off with here that I want to help you with. And that has to do with the current age. That first blank you have there, the word you need there is age. The current age of the child. So what this means is we've all now established, or we've established together, that everybody has an inner child until it becomes fully healed, right? That inner child that's obviously inside of us, it has an age. Just like your soul, for those of you who are in Master Quest, your soul has an age. Remember that? Well, your inner child has an age. The question is, do you know how old your inner child is right now? When you stand in front of the mirror and you look at your physical vessel is 48 years of age. So it looks like maybe a 41-year-old body, even though you know you're 48, so to speak. But do you buy into the illusion, oh, I'm really 41, or I'm really 48, or I'm really 53? Or when you're looking in that mirror, can you see your inner child? And is your inner child at the exact same age of what you are physically? So if it's 43, is your inner child really at the age of 43? Or might it be that even though when you're standing in front of the mirror and you're looking at a 41-year-old body, might it be that inside the truth says in current time that your child is only 8 years old, or 11 years old, or 14 years old, or maybe even 3 years old? I know that's hard to comprehend for some, but I assure you, I've been around grown men who have a 3-year-old little boy trapped inside of them. I would say the same thing about grown women. Now, I've seen a lot throughout the years of what the potential or where we really are at in our reality here. But the key here is you don't need to be concerned about someone else's inner child. You need to be concerned about yours. So I'm going to ask you a question. And once you hear this question, I invite you to go with whatever answer you get as soon as you get the answer. And when you get the answer, I'd like you to write it down. So, once again, in just simply thinking about your inner child, if your inner child had an age, what would that age be? What is the number that just popped into your body or into your mind right now? And whatever the number, go ahead and write it down, please. Who got a number? Eliza, what's your number? 8. Chris, what's your number? 6. Go with 6. Jesse? 11. Marcel? 6. Holly? 9 to 10. Janelle? Which was the first one you got? 22. Okay. Mickey? 9. Darlene? 7. Monica? 13. 7. 6. John? 18. 19. Chris? 13. Marilyn? 8. Who else? Hey, Joe? 11. Tina? 12. TJ? 4. 6. Anybody else? David? 13. So we go around the room and you can see it spans anywhere from, at least in this room here, 4 to possibly 22. And yes, can the child be at 2 different places? And the answer is absolutely it can be. Absolutely it can be. So you can have part of your child that's still stuck at the age of 7, another part of your child struggling around the age of 22. And if you've got that going on, one of the ways in how you'll know it, because you'll have an immense internal conflict. Because now you've got a whole nother problem. And the problem is you've got 2 aspects of your child that have split. And by the way, that only happens when we avoid this for a long period of time. Remember, the longer you hold your inner child down, hostage, it's like a weed in the garden. What happens when you leave a weed in the garden? Like, okay, so now you've left the weed in the garden for 3 years. What's now happening? Gets stronger. It's right, and now let's go 10 years. What now happens at 10 years? It starts to take over, right? So the same thing here with the child. So it can do things like split. And that's where, we have things like the Jekyll-Hyde personality or the multiple personalities disorders and so on and so forth. That's the child. That's a child splitting, fragmenting. But again, that happens partly, not only, but partly because we've allowed this inner child to remain hidden. We keep it hidden from ourselves. We don't really want to work with it. We don't even want to acknowledge it. And especially if we're out in the world and we got this big reputation, right? Big reputation. People like just, see us in a certain way. And God, we can't even bear the thought of what would happen if they found out we actually had a 7-year-old child inside of us. Oh my God, they wouldn't like us anymore, right? Some of us are so addicted to the social media thing, right? It's all about the likes, right? You probably noticed this. It's all about the likes. It's not about the value. It's not about the significance. It's not about the contribution. It's about how many likes did I get, right? Because it's feeding something inside until you catch what's going on and you disconnect from that. Now, in that case, it'd be a good idea for you to disconnect from that so that you're no longer caring about that anymore. Because come the end of the day, if this was your last day, to breathe on this planet, I assure you, you would not be checking your Facebook page. Come on. You wouldn't be checking your social media for the 4th time in the same day. No way. You'd have other things that you'd be focused on, so to speak, and that would probably be the last on your list. And so it's this really recognizing the age of where it's at. So whether that's 8, 9, 10, 14, 3, 4, 2 ages. Sometimes I've had people have 3 different ages that they're vacillating between. But again, that's all because of the suppression of the inner child, the denying of the inner child. As always, how do we get a shadow side? How does the shadow come about? You block the light, so you're denying something. You're in denial of something. See, life could be so simple if all we did was accept everything just exactly the way it is. Right? We kind of get a chuckle out of that. But if we could just accept life exactly the way it is, as it's happening right now. But we already know that's almost an impossibility for the majority of people on planet Earth. They just can't do it. They can't do it. And of course, nobody will be able to do it if you still have a 7-year-old inner child inside that's screaming out loud for your attention because it wants to move towards its destiny, which is first and foremost to be healed. But because we're not giving it any attention, we're in denial of it, then it starts to split. So then we get another part of that child that splits off, and next thing you know, it looks like it's growing, and it's now 20, but now there's a gap between the 7-year-old and the 20-year-old, which then produces a whole nother experience or a whole nother sensation. So now let's go to the second aspect here, and this has to do with the essence. The word you need there is essence. This has to do with the essence of your child. So your inner child has its own essence, and you might or might not already know this, but it's the bridge to your soul. It is your connector to the soul. So for those of us that really are serious about embodying our soul this time around, you're not going to do it if you don't heal your inner child. It's not going to happen. It's just one big pipe dream. You're just smoking you know what. And come the end of the day, come the end of the week, come the end of the month, come the end of the year, you're going to be at the exact same place. Probably with a little more frustration. That's all. Because that person in that case has really missed the mark. Because you need your inner child. You need your inner child in order to connect with that of your greater self, your soul self, Without your inner child, you are not going to do this. You maybe can intellectualize it, I get it, and you can get all stimulated mentally, but again, come the end of the day, nothing will have changed. And I know over time, that'll get old for you. Might take 10 years, but it's just going to get old because you're not going to be getting newer, better, more vibrant or radiant results in your life. It's going to get old. And it's because of this disconnect. So the inner child is like it's the earlier part of reflecting back to us that of the characteristic of our soul self. So essence-wise, your soul has a specific essence. For those of you, how many of you have been through Return to Wholeness? Okay, so Return to Wholeness, we really take a deeper dive into the masculine and feminine, right? So at least you know a lot more about this, possibly. But what happens is this. Your child, it too has its essence, and in its essence, it's either boy or girl. Shall I say that again? It's either boy or girl. Now, later on down the way, you can maybe try to integrate the two and maybe be both boy and girl. Or you might go, let's say your essence really is to be boy and you might try to be girl. Or your essence is girl and you might try to be boy. You probably have seen this going on a lot lately. Have you seen this? Yes. Yeah, it's happening all around us right now. Why? Because the essence wants to come into expression. Just like your higher self now is saying, you know what, we no longer have the luxury of time to, hey, I want to go out and I want to get drunk one more time. I want to go out and have sex with somebody I don't even know one more time. I want to go out and gamble all my money away one more time. I want to go out and I want to feed my addiction. I want my sugar. I want a pound of it right now. Or whatever that is. And the higher self is saying, listen, we've ran out of the luxury of time. Now you can keep on trying to do this, but if you keep on trying to do this, it's going to get louder for you in a painful way. Not because you're bad, it's because you're off schedule. You're not on point, on the point of that of your higher self. And so this essence, we're coming in this new era, we're coming into this place where it's about our essence, our true soul essence. And more specifically, it's not about something that we're just to intellectualize, it's something that we're to be expressing. It's something that we're to be embodying. How about that? Right? Well, your inner child already knows exactly what the essence is. Your inner child is naturally connected to your soul. When somebody is disconnected from their soul, you can be assured they're equally disconnected to their inner child. They've got to be disconnected from their inner child. The inner child is the bridge in. It's the connector in. Without the inner child, there is no connection to your soul. And so the essence is what we're now coming into. So whatever your essence is, whether it's boy or girl, speaking as a child, or as you move into your adulthood, right, then it's going to be man or woman, or masculine or feminine, or the perfect balance of those two, and then you're a choice as to which one you're going to lead your life with. But what is your essence? And more specifically, what is the essence of your inner child? The inner child that has not been healed yet. Is it boy? Is it girl? What is it? Whatever your answer, go ahead and write it down. Is it boy? Is it girl? Or is it possible that it's to be both for you? Okay, who had boy down? Show of hands. All right. Boy down? Yes? Marilyn, did you just raise your hand for boy? It's boy inside of you? Okay. Who had girl down? All right, good. So that's your essence. So you were born in this life with an essence of that of a girl. So more than likely you're attracted to more, if you will, girly things. If you were born with the essence of boy as a child, then you're going to be more attracted to boyish things. Does that make sense? Right? And so if you look back at your childhood, it probably gave itself away very early in this life. What were you more attracted to? Were you more attracted to boyish things, or were you more attracted to girl things? Did you like doing the girly thing? Did you like doing the boy thing? What was it? Now, let's really differentiate these two. The boys do boy things. The girls do girl things when they're real girly. The boys who do boy things when they're really into their boy. They want to go out and hunt and wrestle and kick the ball and maybe even go shoot gophers and that's what they want to do. The girls Girls want to go to the dolls or the dresses and all the pretty. You get the idea here, right? What were you attracted to when you were a kid? What were you naturally attracted to? What was it? Were you attracted more to boy things all the time, or were you attracted more to girl things early in life? Not by the time you turned 20 or 18, when you were younger, like in single digits, before you possibly started that programming, that negative programming started to have its effect on you. When you were a little fresher, if you will, a little more receptive, what were you more attracted to? That's where your answer is. What was it before the programming started? What was it? What is your essence? And more specifically, what is the essence of your inner child? Well, that would be a lot more exploration because, there's one or two things going on there, just to keep it real simple for right now. So one is that's going to be that person's path where they're going to lead more towards living a more manly life, but in a woman's body. That's the transgender community, right? And at least some of the transgender people, they're right on point. They're right on course. That's what they're to be doing at level of soul, right? But then also within that group, there are others who are lost. They're lost, they're confused due to their programming earlier on in life, and they're now trying to be something that they're never going to be. So if it's the boy trying to be the girl, but never really was to be the girl, it's going to always be trying is going to be met with just all kinds of extra unnecessary doo-doo. Or the girl who's trying to be the boy. But again, that's why I asked you about return to wholeness. Remember the ego's fabricated shell. So you got to take a look at all that stuff to be able to determine what it is that's right for you. So what's right for you? You could be in a woman's body or a girl's body, but you're going to lead more of a boy's life because your essence is more boy. And again, there can be truth to that. But just because the person's moving down that path does not mean to say that's always their truth. That could be somebody who's confused because of their earlier programming. And you always know it because now at some point it'll show itself because they're always in this trying to be something that they never can be. And so whether that's 10 years later or even 35 years later, that's exhausting. That is exhausting, trying to be something you're never, ever going to be because it's not your essence to be it. It's all fabricated, like you learned about in the Return to Wholeness program.